The calculator screen has icon buttons at the bottom of the calculator window where we can add cars, delete cars, print, etc. Remember that you need a detailed logbook showing mileage figures to qualify for a travel claim. No logbook showing detailed mileage means no claim. The first thing we are asked is whether we've kept the records of expenses. This refers to a record of expenses like fuel and oil, maintenance, insurance, etc., as listed in the bottom left section of the calculator. We will have a look at a case where records of expenses are kept in a minute, but let's first examine the very simple case in front of us where we're going to lodge a claim against an allowance received for one car using SARS's cents per kilometre tables. This is the set of tables issued by SARS in the budget of February 2016 regarding cents per kilometres awarded for cars of various values, and also the fixed cost column you can see there. We must enter the start and end dates for the use of this car. Wintax will indicate how many days in the year we used the car. We must enter the code 3701 from the IRP file for the travel allowance amount we received for this car, and we must enter the cost price, which was on the windscreen when we bought it. We also enter the mileage figures from our logbook. In this case, the car was brand new on 1st of March 2016 and the start mileage was 0. The calculator will show our deduction claim. The thing to remember here is that SARS will only give you a claim for business distance travelled. SARS will not give you 1 cent for private distance. The fixed cost, fuel and maintenance costs per kilometre are built into Wintax 2017, so the deduction claim is calculated and displayed for us. If the allowance was reduced for only part of the year, let's say up until 31st of August, we can see that although the cents per kilometres for fuel and maintenance stays the same, the fixed cost has been affected by the 184-day period. Let me change the date for you. And there you can see the fixed cost has changed. Obviously, the more expensive the car, the bigger will be our claim, but our claim cannot be more than the allowance we received. There, I've changed the dates back to a full year. Before we move on to different cases, let's have a look at some other options on the calculator. We can enter the car's registration number up here in the top right, and we can ask the calculator to exclude or include fuel and maintenance costs in the claim. The extra detail button down here on the bottom right will allow us to enter more info on this car. Wintax will carry over much of the data for cars from year to year. The value at year start will be useful for keeping track of the depreciated value when claiming wear and tear depreciation if you use the option to claim a portion of expenses kept. Now up at the top of the window, if we select that we kept a record of actual running expenses, then the fields for expenses are now active, allowing us to enter amounts here. There I've entered running expenses. Note that you may only claim either wear and tear or lease payments, not both. Okay, we entered expenses totaling 120,000 Rand. Now SARS is only going to allow us to claim the portion of these expenses according to the mileage we did on business distance. Once again, SARS will not give us back anything we spent on private distance. Since the mileage figures from the logbook show that we did 30% of total mileage on business, our claim is 30% of the 120,000 Rand expenses. An interesting point here is that the allowance amount and the car value make no difference in this calculation for a claim against expenses. In fact, if this was a commission-only taxpayer who never received an allowance, then there would be no allowance received amount here anyway. There you can see I've removed the allowance received completely, and I've jacked up the price of the car from $300,000 to $450,000. You can see these values make no difference to the claim, as our claim amount is based purely on our expenses incurred, and it does not matter if these expenses were incurred using a Rolls-Royce or a Mini. There could be an exception to this. The cents per kilometre tables shown from SARS show a car cost cap of 560,000 Rand. And any car more expensive than 560,000 Rand will receive the same cents per kilometre claim amounts as a 560,000 Rand car. In the option we're looking at now, if we are claiming actual expenses for a car costing over 560,000 Rand, then SARS may moderate our claim. Let's go back to the original travel claim. We can add more cars. The calculator caters for taxpayers who used more than one car all year and for taxpayers who changed cars during the tax year. With multiple cars, obviously you have to split any single travel allowance received from one employer amongst the cars. SARS will do this according to the number of days of use of the cars.